Between 1764 and 1767, one creature in rural France killed nearly 200 people, mostly women and children, ripping throats out and dragging their bodies into the woods. The amount of reported attacks are at a staggering 400 plus. The Beast of Gévaudan is easily the most dangerous cryptid ever documented. This damn thing makes every other cryptid look like a house pet. I'm Uncle Perry. I don't just tell stories, I dig up the fucked up ones most folks are too chicken shit to talk about. And I do it in a cavalier kind of way. From cryptids to government secrets, I chase down the truth behind the legends. This week, I went through every damn cryptid I could find and ranked them by attributed kills, reported attacks, and supernatural abilities. These are my top 10 most dangerous cryptids on Earth. Y'all ready to tear it up? Let's get it! Before we crank through the rest of this list, let me break down how I actually rank these fuckers on the danger scale, because this wasn't just cool buds and tasty waves. I used 3 qualifiers, weighted in this order. First, attributed kills. That means deaths, human or livestock, that have been directly or indirectly pinned to the creature. Second, reported attacks, including any claimed encounter, police reports, newspaper clippings, letters, or internet forum confessions where someone says a creature tried to fuck them up. Third, supernatural abilities, including the truly bizarre, shape-shifting, shrugging off bullets, vanishing, mind games, etc. The more consistent these powers are across stories and the more different abilities, the deadlier the cryptid. Stack all 3 together, kills, attacks, and freaky powers, and that's how these monsters earn their spot on my top 10 most dangerous cryptids list. Before we get into the rest of the list, let's dive deep into number 1 and see exactly what makes this creature so goddamn dangerous. The Beast of Gévaudan had a 3-year killing spree that had rural France losing its shit. Starting in July 1764, a young woman got her throat ripped out near the village of Langon. By the time this thing was done in 1767, we're looking at 210 reported attacks, 113 direct kills, and 49 people who barely survived. Here's what makes this so fucking brutal. 98 of those victims were partially eaten. This wasn't a rabid wolf going crazy. This was calculated predation. Women and children were the primary targets, attacked while tending livestock or walking between villages. Throats torn out, heads damn near decapitated. Some bodies were dragged hundreds of yards into the woods and were eventually recovered days later. King Louis XV sent in royal troops and professional hunters. Captain Jean-Baptiste Duhamel led 57 dragoons through the forests in the winter of 1764. His lieutenant, Francois Antoine, shot a massive wolf in June 1765 and paraded it to Versailles like he'd saved France. Attacks stopped for 6 months. Everyone celebrated. Then, December 1765 hits. 35 more people were killed. Whatever Antoine shot wasn't the fucking beast. It took a local farmer named Jean Chastel to finally end it. June 19, 1767, during a hunt organized by the Marquis d'Apicher in the Saint-Duvert forest. Chastel dropped a wolf-like creature with abnormal features. The attacks stopped permanently that day. 113 human lives and 210 attacks. That's why the Beast of Gévaudan sits solidly at number 1. If you want to check out my full-length video on this dude, I'll put the link down in the distraction. Viewer discretion is advised. It's extremely fucked up. Number 2. Chupacabra. The Chupacabra, the goat sucker that's been draining livestock across Latin America and the American Southwest since 1995. This thing stands about 3 to 5 feet tall, walks on 2 legs, and has glowing eyes that'll freeze you in your tracks. Its back is covered in sharp spines, and its skin looks like gray leather that's been left out in the sun too damn long. The first sighting hit Puerto Rico in 1995, and from there, this blood-sucking bastard spread like wildfire. Mexico, Texas, Arizona, Chile, Brazil, you name it. Some folks describe it as a hairless dog-like creature on 4 legs, but the original reports? Pure bipedal horror show. Here's where shit gets wild. Witnesses claim this thing drains every drop of blood from its victims through precise puncture wounds in the neck. We're talking vampire-level precision. Some say it smells like sulfur, moves faster than anything natural should, and only hunts at night. There are even theories it's the result of alien experimentation or some kind of escaped government project. Now, why is it number 2? The attributed livestock kills are fucking insane. We're talking hundreds, possibly thousands of head of livestock across multiple countries. Goats, sheep, cattle, all found completely drained with those signature neck wounds. And the way I weighted this for my scoring is I counted each 20 head of livestock as one human death. And those glowing eyes and unnatural movement, that's 2 supernatural abilities right there. The Chupacabra earned its spot with sheer volume and consistency. This isn't hearsay. This is an ongoing phenomenon that's still being reported every year. Number 3. Dogman. A 7-foot-tall, muscle-bound shitstorm walking around on 2 legs. Picture a wolf's head on a broad, human-shaped body, pointed ears, long snout, rows of teeth, and eyes that shine yellow or red in the dark. Covered in dark fur, big-ass claws on its hands, and it moves like a fucking linebacker that's way too fast for its size. Most reports cluster around the Great Lakes. Michigan is Dogman Central, but you also get waves of sightings in Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and down through Kentucky and Tennessee. You've got people seeing these things on back roads, at the tree line along cornfields, crossing highways in 2 steps, even pacing cars doing 50, 60 miles an hour. Now for the fun, batshit part of the lore. Witnesses say dogmen don't just chase, they stalk. They circle houses, tap on windows, and follow people back to their cars. Some claim they've seen more than one at a time, moving in coordinated patterns like a hunting pack. There are stories of them grinning, showing all their teeth, like they understand exactly how scared you are. A few accounts even suggest they could mimic human voices or laugh. So why does Dogman land at number 3? Attributed killings include multiple livestock slaughters and a handful of suspected human deaths. Mauled bodies, shredded clothing, tracks nearby that don't match any known animal. Reported attacks are in the hundreds. Roadside chases, cabin confrontations, backyard encounters. Supernatural abilities? We've got glowing eyes that seem to lock you in place, inhuman speed, and that pack-level coordination that looks way smarter than a normal predator. Dogman isn't just a campfire story. It's an organized, intelligent hunter sitting way too close to home. Number 4. Mothman. Witnesses in Point Pleasant, West Virginia described this thing as a tall, dark, winged humanoid with a 10-foot wingspan, no real neck, and those big glowing red eyes that look like brake lights. Most of the classic sightings hit between 1966 and 1967 around the old TNT area, an abandoned munitions site full of concrete igloos, overgrown brush, and places you really shouldn't be at night. But the lore doesn't stay put. Over time, people have linked similar winged man sightings to disasters all over the world, from bridge collapses to mine cave-ins, turning Mothman into a kind of traveling Zoltar. And the wilder parts of the lore? You've got couples chased in their cars at highway speeds, this thing keeping up like it's nothing. And hanging all over it is the Silver Bridge collapse in 1967. 46 people dead. The legend of those deaths get laid at Mothman's feet because it was reported just days earlier sitting on top of the bridge, calling his shot. On my list, that's how he racks up the score. 46 attributed kills from the Silver Bridge disaster. 7 reported attacks where people say they were chased, terrified, or directly confronted, and 2 supernatural abilities: disaster precognition and that overwhelming supernatural fear. Add that all up, and Mothman lands in the top 4 most dangerous cryptids on the planet. Number 5. Bigfoot. Bigfoot is the OG of North American cryptids. A giant, hairy, bipedal silhouette that looks like somebody stretched out and stood up a gorilla. Most reports describe a 7 to 10 foot tall, broad-shouldered, barrel-chested figure covered in dark brown or black hair with a flat nose, heavy brow ridge, and that long swinging stride you see in the old Patterson-Gimlin film. Usually located in the Pacific Northwest, but sightings stretch all over the U.S. and Canada. Anywhere you've got deep woods, mountains, and not enough cell service, there's going to be a Bigfoot. The lore gets wild fast. Rock throwing at cabins, hunters having logs hurled at them, chilling howls in the dark, whole camps stalked just outside the firelight. You've got missing hunter and vanished hiker cases that a lot of folks say Bigfoot was to blame. And then the stranger reports. People hit with a sudden wave of terror or nausea, like something is messing with them without ever fully stepping into view. On this list, though, I'm not grading him on vibes. I'm scoring what the lore actually claims. When you add up the stories where deaths are flat out blamed on Sasquatch, missing people, torn up camps, bodies found under weird circumstances, Bigfoot's got several attributed kills. Then there are many reported attacks, rock bombardments, full-on charges, tent grabbing, and close-up encounters. And finally, one supernatural ability, that mind-fucked effect that multiple witnesses describe as panic, confusion, and overwhelming fear out of nowhere. Run those through the system, and Bigfoot is not just a furry, shy forest giant, but absolutely dangerous enough to earn the number 5 spot. Number 6. Wendigo. The Wendigo isn't just a monster story. It's the nightmare that shows up when winter, starvation, and human desperation all pile on at once. In the old Algonquian stories, this thing is a tall, skeletal bastard with stretched skin, glowing eyes, long claws, sometimes even antlers, and a mouth full of jagged teeth. It's basically famine wearing a corpse as a costume. Most of the lore sits in the northern forests, Canada, the Great Lakes region, deep into Cree, Ojibwe, and other Native American territories. That's where people talked about a spirit that hunts during lean times, whispering to the starving and pushing them toward the one line you're never supposed to cross: eating another person. The wildest part of Wendigo lore isn't just some monster in the woods, it's possession. You've got real historical cases, like Swift Runner in the 1870s and the Jack Fiddler trials in the early 1900s, where murders and cannibalism were blamed on the Wendigo. Sometimes the creature is described growing larger every time it feeds, its hunger getting worse the more it eats. That's a terrifying backwards kind of logic. On this list, I'm treating those cannibal killings and missing person stories as attributed deaths tied to the Wendigo legend. Add to that the reported attacks and close calls, people stalked, driven mad, or nearly taken over by the thing. Then stack on its multiple supernatural abilities: possession, shape-shifting, superhuman endurance, unnatural resilience, and that psychic-style hunger that chews at your mind. It doesn't have the highest body count, but it is one of the fucking darkest, most corrupting cryptids on this entire list. Number 7. Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is what happens when folklore decides New Jersey needs its own custom nightmare. People describe it as this scrawny, kangaroo-bodied freak with leather bat wings, cloven hooves, a long neck, and a goat or horse-like head topped with horns. Red eyes, long tail, and a scream that sounds like hell itself stepped on a cat. It's like somebody hit randomized monster and this came out. Its stomping grounds are the Pine Barrens of South Jersey. Over 1 million acres of scrubby forest, swamp, and sand where you can get real lost real fast. Most sightings cluster in that region, but stories have bled out into nearby towns and even across the river towards Philly. The big panic hit in 1909. Newspapers went nuts. Schools closed. Factories shut down, posses formed, and everybody and their grandma swore they'd seen something flapping over their rooftops. Lore-wise, you've got everything from it attacking trolley cars, to cops shooting at it, to whole towns tracking weird hoof prints across rooftops and fences. Farmers woke up to mutilated livestock, shredded chicken coops, and tracks that started in the middle of fields, like the fucking thing just dropped out of the sky. For the ranking, I'm sticking to what the stories actually claim. I'm giving the Jersey Devil attributed kills, mostly livestock slaughtered in ways locals swore weren't coyotes or dogs, plus a handful of people vanishings folks blame on it. On top of that, there are reported attacks, people chased, dive-bombed, or scared shitless at close range. No flashy magical powers, just a flying, screaming bastard that hits and runs. The Jersey Devil is a mid-tier killer, but an absolute menace in the Pine Barrens. Number 8. Hellhounds. Hellhounds are what you get when a regular dog gets juiced up by evil. We're talking huge, black as midnight beasts with glowing red or yellow eyes, sometimes with matted fur that looks burned, sometimes wreathed in smoke, and paws that don't always leave normal tracks. A lot of stories say they're silent when they move, right up until they're not, and then it's this deep, echoing growl that feels like it's in your bones. You hear about them all over the goddamn place. The black dogs in the UK, demon dogs on lonely back roads in the US, spectral hounds pacing graveyards, crossroads, and spots where really bad shit went down. People driving late at night on back highways swear a massive black dog kept pace with their car or appeared in the road and vanished right before impact. The lore gets spicy fast. Some hellhounds are said to guard the gates of the underworld. Others show up as omens of death. See one and either you or someone close to you is on a death timer. There are tales of them walking through walls, sitting at the foot of your bed, or stalking a family for generations like a curse with teeth. Hellhounds have some attributed kills. Folks were found mauled or torn apart by wild animals in places where locals swear no normal dog or wolf would be. Several reported attacks are out there. Cars scratched, people chased, bitten, or knocked down by something too big and too quiet to be normal. On top of that, one solid supernatural ability, acting as a death omen that locks onto a target. Crunch all that, and hellhounds are not the top killers, but when the goddamn thing tracking you might be your final notice from the universe, that's nightmare fuel. Number 9. Kushtaka. Kushtaka, also called the Otter Man, is what happens when you take a cute little river otter and crank up the nightmare slider to 10. In Tlingit and other indigenous Alaskan stories, this thing is a shape-shifting, half-man, half-otter with sharp teeth, slick fur, and this unsettling, almost human grin. Sometimes it looks like a big, bulky otter walking on two legs. Sometimes it looks totally human, until it doesn't. Its home turf is coastal Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. Remote villages, icy inlets, foggy shorelines, and river mouths where people fish, hunt, and travel by boat. Stories pile up around dangerous waters and rocky shores. Basically, anywhere falling in means the ocean might just eat you. The lore on this thing gets dark fast. Kushtaka are said to mimic the cries of lost children or loved ones to lure people towards cliffs, rivers, or the surf. They whistle, call for help, or sound like someone you know is drowning. When you get close enough, it's too late. Some tales say they tear you apart. Others claim they transform you into one of them, your soul lost, mind scrambled, now forever part of the pack. Salt, iron, and dogs are sometimes said to keep them away, which really tells you what kind of energy we're working with here. For this ranking, Kushtaka has attributed kills, drownings and vanishings along rivers and coasts that local stories pin directly on these shape-shifting assholes. Also reported attacks, people chased, grabbed, or nearly dragged into the water, surviving just long enough to tell what they saw. On top of that, 2 supernatural abilities, full-on shape-shifting and vocal mimicry used to lure victims to their deaths. Altogether, that lands Kushtaka at not the bloodiest cryptid on this list, but if you're near cold, dark water and hear someone calling your name, maybe just ignore it. Number 10. Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp. The Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp is pure B-movie energy that turned out to be real. Witnesses describe a 7-foot-tall, jacked reptile dude. Green, scaly skin, glowing red eyes, 3 thick, clawed fingers on each hand, and sometimes a tail. Think Swamp Gator fucked a bodybuilder, and you're in the ballpark. Its home turf is the Scape or Swamp area around Bishopville, South Carolina. Backwoods, murky water, and thick trees where your headlights only catch bits of movement. The first big wave of reports hit in the late 1980s. People driving at night, something slamming into their cars, scratching metal, yanking door handles like it was trying to get in. One kid swore the thing chased him down a dirt road and jumped on his car. Lore-wise, it goes from swamp monster to small-town legend real fast. You've got police reports of cars shredded like something with claws went at them. Weird three-toed tracks found in the mud, and folks claiming it pops up, screams, then bolts back into the swamp. Folks just treat it like the local boogeyman. Don't hang out by the swamp at night unless you want to meet the lizard man. For this list, I couldn't find any attributed kills. No bodies I can pin directly on this scaly bastard. Just a lot of close calls and wrecked vehicles, but definitely racks up some reported attacks. Cars jumped, people chased, doors yanked, and straight up terrorizing folks on lonely roads. No confirmed supernatural abilities either. Just raw, physical, holy shit, what the fuck is that energy? Honorable mention, the Beast of Bray Road. I know some of you have already been saying, what about the Beast of Bray Road? The Beast of Bray Road is what you get if a Dogman decided to LARP as a full-time Midwest nightmare. Witnesses describe a 6 to 7 foot tall, wolf-headed fucker with broad shoulders, shaggy brown or black fur, glowing eyes, and a snout full of teeth that looks way too damn long to be anything normal. Sometimes it's hunched over roadkill like it's at a buffet. Sometimes it stands up on two legs and stares at you like you just interrupted something. Its hunting ground is Bray Road and the surrounding back roads near Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Cornfields, ditches, wooded patches, and lonely stretches of asphalt where your headlights never reach far enough. People driving home at night see this thing kneeling over a carcass, and when they slow down, it doesn't run away like a coyote. It stands up, it looks right at them, and then it starts walking toward the car. Too calm, too confident. Lore-wise, this bastard's been blamed for mauling livestock, huge claw marks on cars, and people getting chased when they're stupid enough to stop and get a better look. You've got stories of it slamming into vehicles, running alongside cars at insane speeds, and diving off into the corn when the lights hit it. No magic tricks, no portals, just raw, predatory, get off my damn road energy. For the ranking, I've got Beast of Bray Road with several attributed kills, plus about a dozen reported attacks. Supernatural abilities? 0. This dickhead doesn't need them. That puts it at 8 in the top 10, which is why it earns an honorable mention. However, it is a Dogman variant. I used the Beast of Bray Road killings and attacks as part of the Dogman stats earlier. If you want to see the full gory breakdown, I've already done a really good deep dive on this furry asshole. I'll leave a link in the destruction. So there you have it. From man-eating wolf beasts and sky-born doom omens, all the way down to swamp lizard crackheads and otterman shapeshifters. That's my rundown of the most dangerous cryptids walking, flying, or slithering around this fucked up little blue marble. I went through the kills. I went through the attacks. I even counted the weird-ass powers. Some of these things rack up serious body counts. Some just fuck with people's cars and sanity. And some are basically walking natural disasters with teeth. But here's the important part. Every creature on this list has left a trail of scared, shitless witnesses and stories that just won't die. Here's what I'm saying. Enough people, in enough places, over enough years, keep seeing the same goddamn things. Same shapes, same eyes, same screams in the woods or wings over bridges. At some point, you either believe every single one of them is bullshit, or you leave a little room for the impossible. And if something scratches at your window tonight, I wouldn't be so goddamn sure it's the wind. Especially if it sounds like someone you love begging you to open the door. Do you like weird-ass monsters and government conspiracies? Then tap that like button and subscribe. That way, you won't miss out on more of my fucked up commentary. And besides, I really do appreciate it. So, who did I overrate? Who did I snub? Who should have cracked the top 10 but didn't? Drop your own cryptid kill rankings in the comments. And tell me which monster you'd least want to meet in a dark forest on a lonely road at 3 a.m. And if you're ready to crank that shit all the way up to 11, that join button's got your name on it. For just $2.99, you can have my back in a huge way. Until next time, y'all keep it real, keep it chill, and stay creepy! Catch you on the flip. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You are the real beast.